Without further ado, I'd like to invite Her Excellency Dana Kursh, Consul General of Israel to South India, to address this gathering.
Namaskara. Good evening. I'm very proud of you. I know it's been a long but fascinating day. I just been able to enjoy being with you for the last hour. But it is really exploring new frontiers, and it is a huge honor for me to represent Israel and to share the stage with the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka and IESA officials and leadership that gathered us all here today. I'm happy to be in this kind of timing because it's a two-day conference. It's the second conference that I've been able to take part for this important organization. And it's 2 days that it's space and then it's blending into defense. And I know that it was woven together throughout the day as well. And both defense and space are two verticals that Israel and India are really exploring new frontiers. And intelligent electronics will provide us the tools to be able to explore those frontiers and basically overcome the challenges and get to new heights on the land and in space, both. I think that we've seen before, a few minutes ago, a movie about ISRO. And I know that you had been enjoying from morning time the pride of ISRO and its accomplishment. I would like to take this floor to brag a bit about ISRO partner in Israel. Our equivalent of ISRO is our Israel Space Agency. And just 2 years ago, your Prime Minister Narendra Modi, came for the first time, an Indian Prime Minister come to Israel. And in this visit, they had, our Prime Minister and your Prime Minister had signed 7 agreements. 3 out of them were in space. So this unique partnership between India and Israel, between ISRO and our ISRO, between our IESA, is a very unique a component of our partnership, and I would like to share this few minutes about what do we do back home when it comes to space, and then we can dive on into what we are doing today and how we are exploring new frontiers both in space and in defense in the future.
Israel, as one of the smallest countries on Earth, is barely visible from space. And yet, the Israeli Space Agency's innovative and groundbreaking technologies have led the way to outstanding achievements in the field of space exploration. Israel is among the few countries in the world which develop, build, launch, and operate satellites in space. Geographical and safety constraints have forced Israel to launch satellites in an opposed trajectory to what is customary in the world, which drove the scientific community in Israel to be creative and excel in order to achieve high required performance for small satellites. The Israeli space industry has recorded many achievements, such as the development of communication and Earth observation capabilities, high-resolution electro-optical satellites, and advanced synthetic aperture radars, which can also be used at night and under all weather conditions. The Venus satellite, a joint effort with the French Space Agency, is a microsatellite with electric propulsion, offering superspectral remote sensing capabilities of the Earth, utilizing 12 different spectral bands, and thereby enabling environmental monitoring as well as assisting in precision agriculture. The next generation of satellites will offer hyperspectral remote sensing, using 240 different spectral bands, covering the full spectrum from visible light all the way up to 2.4 microns. This will allow for molecular level monitoring of vegetation, environmental pollutants in bodies of water and on land, and the monitoring of quarried substances. The Technion, Israel's Institute of Technology, is currently working on the first of its kind experiment in which it intends to design, launch, and prove flight capability of three-formation nanosatellites. This nanosatellite will enable, among other things, the locating and identifying of people at risk. Israel's ground mobile broadband services, based on satellite communication systems, have already saved many lives around the world during natural disasters and will be visually enhanced as part of a collaboration with the UN Spider Initiative. Israeli space technology and contributions can even be found as far as Mars as part of the Curiosity project, where a unique sensor cooling system developed in Israel has been successfully integrated. Israel believes its most important resource is its human resource. As part of the startup nation, Israeli children grow up in a highly creative environment. From an early age, they're encouraged to dream and are supported in developing all the necessary intellectual tools to make those dreams come true, not just through classroom work, but through hands-on experiences. Many children dream of becoming astronauts, like Ilan Ramon, an Israeli astronaut on board the Columbia Space Shuttle. Some young entrepreneurs are part of the core team of Space IL that's currently competing for Google's Lunar X Prize. University graduation percentage rates in Israel are among the highest in the world. Israeli academic institutes continue to push the envelope and develop futuristic technologies such as quantum computing, developments which will lead to significant scientific breakthroughs in the decades to come. 8 Nobel Prizes were won by Israeli scientists thus far. As a small country, Israel is gearing its space industry towards large-scale collaborations. Many of Israel's technological advancements are meant to integrate with multinational projects for various organizations and communities. The Israeli Space Agency and industry will continue to welcome international collaborations that will help work towards a prosperous future for humankind. Towards an era with no limits, where micro turns to macro and nano to astro.
Thank you so much. This morning, I started the day with learning the vision for Karnataka at large and for Bengaluru in specific by His Honorable Deputy Chief Minister and Dr. Reddy, the vision of innovation in Karnataka at large and in Bengaluru in specific, and the preparation to the Bangalore Tech Summit that I think is the next big thing after this summit that we are going to enjoy, that we are enjoying now and at the midst. The first time I had the honor to meet the Deputy Chief Minister was 2 weeks back on a similar stage with a similar organization called Indian Technology Engineering Congress, which is basically, I imagine that some of the members here may be members also in this organization as well. And it was the 4th, it was 3 days before the 7th of September. And we all know what we were all hoping and looking for on the 7th of September. On the 4th, both of us had the honor to really rejoice our space partnership with looking for the future and basically highlighting the partnership of having 75 nanosatellites that will be sent into space in 2022 when India celebrating its 70th Independence Day. And this is a partnership between Israel and India and other countries. I think that both of us were very hopeful that Vikram will land safely on the moon. But I think that, and I know that you had discussed it throughout the day, and Vikram, I know it means victory. And we were hoping for a victorious day of India landing on the moon. but very similar to Israel, that in April had experienced the same thing of not being able to rejoice this Vikram, to rejoice this victory. I think that our unique partnership between India and Israel is also that one of the foundation is experience those failures, because those are the ones that will bring us forward to conquering new frontiers. And as I'm confident that back home, Genesis, which is the name of our satellite that did not get to space, the moment after we understood that he's not getting, there is Genesis 2. I know that there will be Chandrayaan 3, and I know that both our nation will get to space, and it will rely a lot of, from the contribution on each and every one of you, whether it's students of engineering, whether it's young startups that are doing exactly the next things of how we can improve our life on land and in space. I want to finish with a story that also is, at the end of the day, deals with innovation. Today, while we are here in the midst of our conference, back home, it's the last day of our innovation conference, the DLD Innovation Conference in the heart of Tel Aviv, one of the major cities in Israel. And I want to take you back 2 years, JC? 18 months, but who's counting? 18 months ago, Israel celebrated its 70th. We are always 1 year after you guys. So we chose to celebrate it by marking an MOU with Intel India. The JC is not just the chairman of IESA, is also a leader in Intel India, that you are so proud of, another major company that is based here in Bangalore. In a very similar manner, the first R&D center of Intel outside of the States was in Israel. In many ways, both the center, both Intel India and Intel Israel are very much alike. I just want to use one story from that, is that what we have done is chose, as I mentioned, to sign an MOU with Nivruti Rai, that I think another congratulations is that she has been chosen as one of the most influential women by Forbes India, right? And so one of the people before me was commending a lady engineer that is now her student here. You have amazing leaders that are basically running the show when it comes to electronics and semiconductors as well in India, and I think it's another source of pride for India. So what we've done is, to celebrate our 70th Independence Day, we had shared this stage with Nivruti and with JC and signed an MOU to push our ecosystems forward when it comes to hardware, to utilize the lab maker of Intel India, to push startups that it's much harder. You know that it's easy to, in software industry, it's easier to go to the stages and basically reach a product in their hand. You know, for when you have to validation and you have to have so many processes, it takes much longer. So we chose to push this forward. And what we have done is we have done pitching contests when we pushed Indian startups to pitch their case. And we've done 3 pitching contests up to now in the past 18 months. And the last one is now, together with another high-ranking official of Intel, in Israel, celebrating innovation in this conference in Israel, an Indian company that is utilizing AI to find new solutions when it comes to emotions, transferring them to the e-commerce ecosystem and so on and so forth. So I think this is a small story that tells how important is our partnership when it comes to space, when it comes to land, and when it comes to defense that you are going to dive into tomorrow. I know that I cannot share with you many of the success stories that have been in between India and Israel when it comes to defense. I can just tell you that I had the honor to be launching some of those JV that had been forging even here in Bengaluru, and it is a very, very source of pride of the unique partnership even in Israel and India. So I think that at the end of the day, if I'm looking at the theme that the IESA had chosen for us, and the emphasis of intelligence, and the emphasis at the end of the day of education, on forging our future and expanding to new frontiers, I'm adding our eye to the multiple eyes that exist on this plaque of the title, and it's not just IESA, and not just India, and not just ISRO. It's, if I may add in Israel as well. And I'm very proud of Israel and India partnership when it comes both to space and when it comes here on the land. And I'm looking forward to having more and more success stories that we can celebrate together to have better future for our children and our grandchildren together. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Her Excellency Dana Kursh for that address, for her words of encouragement and reassurance, and for her testimony of the enduring partnership and friendship between our two great nations.